Assalamualaikum to Miss Jeniwati. My name is SYUHADA binti MOHAMAD FAUZAN and my matric number is 2020857976.
My name is NURAINA FAQIHAH binti ZAKARIA. My number matrix 2020873548.
Hi, my name is NURUL binti WAHAB. My matric number is 2020479302.
Hi, my name is DINAH ZAHIRAH binti ZULKIFLI and my matric number is 2020460384.
My name is FERYN binti FADZIL. My number matrix is 2020457952.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video presentation, we will discuss about standard operating procedure in Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara. Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara, or known as JPN, is a major government agency under the purview of the Ministry of Home Affairs. JPN is heavily involved in the registration of some important information and events regarding the people of this country. Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara was established after the Emergency Registration Areas Regulations 1948 as one of the methods to combat security threats. The main purpose of the establishment of JPN is to create and maintain records on birth, marriage, adoption, divorce, citizenship, issuance of identity cards, and death certificates to all citizens of this country. In addition, the mission of JPN is ensuring authentic and preserved identification records by offering the optimum services to the people for the national security and become the main reference agency for national population records.
Next, I will explain about definition standard operating procedure. Each organization will have their own standard operating procedure (SOP) that has been set by superiors in an organization to be followed by everyone, especially to employees. This standard operating procedure (SOP) is a step-by-step instruction guide that has been written in a document to assist employees in performing certain operations smoothly. Since the SOPs are meant to be obeyed, the nature of the SOP itself is highly structured and in line with the requirements of the scope of work that provided by the organization. Indirectly, it can prevent employees from making mistakes in completing the tasks that entrusted to them. Therefore, SOPs are also one of the keys for the success of the organization, especially to the Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara. This is because the JPN has many departments that need to be monitored and managed more carefully. Hence, by practicing SOPs in the JPN, it can make it easier for superiors to observe and ensure that each department does work in accordance with the SOPs set so that the work becomes smooth and orderly. Next, each service offered by JPN has a different SOP. This is because the procedure for completing each service require different requirements and methods to be performed according to its suitability, such as different forms that need to be filled out by customers based on the service they want to use. Thus, customers and JPN's employees must follow the SOPs so that every process will run smoothly. Next, I will explain about objective SOP in JPN. The first objective of the SOP in JPN is to achieve an effective management function which consists of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Planning is a management function that involves setting objectives and determining actions to achieve those objectives. It means that the JPN set the planning in advance on what needs to be done in order to achieve the set objective. For example, the JPN has set a planning for them to manage important documents of Malaysians immediately without causing unwanted problem. So, the JPN has set an SOP whereby all counters must be open at 8 AM and all employees must follow the set time so that it will not delay the customer's affairs. In addition, organizing is the process of coordinating and allocating organizational resources to execute its plans. Due to the JPN who provides various services, they need to divide several departments based on the service they offer with different tasks. For example, the marriage registration department will manage stuff related to marriage for non-Muslim citizens, while the citizenship registration department will manage stuff related to citizenship, which each has a different scope of duties and SOPs. Meanwhile, leading is consists of motivating employees and influencing their behavior to achieve organizational objectives. The head of each department in the JPN must ensure and control their employees' performance are in accordance with the SOP set so that every job done is correct as to achieve controlling function. Hence, this four management function will not be achieved without a strong SOPs. Last but not least, the second objective of the SOP in JPN is to ensure that employees produce high quality work. This is because employees only need to follow the SOP guidelines that have been stated in performing their duties. The SOP guidelines given are very detailed and employees have to follow one by one the existing procedures. For instance, the JPN has set the SOP of the marriage registration section where JPN officers who is in charge of marrying non-Muslim can only accept a few couples in a day in order to avoid the occurrence of clashes at the same time. Indirectly, employees may maintain the quality of their work by following the SOP, and they can also preserve JPN's excellent reputation by managing service very well, as well as it can prevent employees from making many mistakes in doing their task.
Next is type of SOP based on service provided by JPN. The first SOP is SOP for marriage registration. Based on national law, only non-Muslim couples who want to get married are required to register at JPN. Meanwhile, for Muslim couples need to register their marriage at the state religious office. As the first SOP, registration must be made on the JPN online platform first and later must register at JPN counter. During physical registration, couples are required to bring along important documents as a second SOP set by JPN, such as marriage license application form for parties with prohibited kinship ties, which can be obtained on the JPN official website, as well as identity cards and passports. However, JPN officers have the right to request for other documents for the purpose of avoiding unwanted difficulties, such as having a prohibited kinship, followed by an interview session that will be held on the day the application is made or on a different day for a further review. The third SOP is marriage application will be approved, and then for the fourth SOP is JPN will display information and photos of the couple who have been eligible to get married at the marriage registration space throughout the date set by JPN. The purpose of the matter is to inform the public that the couple will get married and as a measure to avoid objections from any party. And the last SOP for marriage registration is JPN will charge a fee of Rm100 for an approved marriage certificate. Next is SOP for birth certificate registration. Birth certificate is an important document that parents must get from JPN to legally register their newborn births. In addition, every birth that occurs in Malaysia must be registered within 60 days from the date of the birth of the child for child who born in Peninsula, while 14 days for child who born in Sabah and Sarawak. And additional information, baby whose parents are not Malaysian are still required to register the births at JPN because the purpose of birth certificate is to register all the births that occur in Malaysia regardless of nationality. However, there is a difference in terms of the color of the birth certificate for births of citizens and non-citizens. which is green for citizens and red for non-citizens to simply differentiate. Therefore, the first SOP set by JPN is the application condition of birth certificate must be made either by baby's parents, legal guardians, or individuals who know about the baby births. The purpose is to ensure that the registration of the birth certificate is legally valid, as well as to avoid any possibility of forgery of the birth certificate. Also, it will help the JPN to handle the issuance of birth certificates. The second SOP set by JPN is applicant must appear at any counter of the nearest Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara by bringing the required documents. The documents required to register the birth of a child are different of the Peninsula, Sabah, and Sarawak. Among the documents required for newborn from Peninsula are birth registration form and must be filled in completely, following with birth confirmation form from the hospital for babies born in hospital, while for babies born at home is required to bring doctor's confirmation letter and a police report. The next documents are parental card or treatment card during pregnancy, registrar's identity cards, death certificate of mother and father of a child if applicable, marriage or divorce document of the child parents, and AMAT declaration letter if there is no pregnancy treatment book or pregnancy treatment card. Next, the last SOP is the birth certificate register will be successful if all the required documents have been submitted and no fee charged. Move to the last SOP is SOP for citizenship application. The applicant and registered person must appear before the registrar of citizen when submitting the application. Next, the application for children must be made either by father, mother, guardian, or close relative. The next step is to fill in the overseas birth registration application form, which can be obtained at the JPN counter. Followed by the second SOP set by JPN, the applicant and the registered person are required to attend the JPN Citizenship Division Counter Putrajaya Headquarters or JPN Headquarters each state or consular office abroad and are required to bring along the original documents and copies. The purpose of bringing important documents is for security and transparency in the operation of citizenship in Malaysia, also to safeguard the rights of Malaysians. Among the documents required by the registered person as the third SOP are the latest birth certificate or birth certificate extract, entry permit or passport or other travel documents, 3 recent passport size photographs with a blue background, and also a statutory declaration if applicable. Meanwhile, for the documents required for the parents are the latest birth certificate or birth certificate extract, identity card if any, passport or other travel documents, citizenship certificate, and marriage document. Followed by the last SOP is that the JPN has made it mandatory for a fee to be charged throughout the citizenship application process. RM20 will be charged for a registration of citizenship application, RM10 for the issuance of a certificate by the embassy, and RM30 will be charged for the issuance of a certificate by the Chief Registrar of the People with the approval of the Minister of Home Affairs.
Each organization has an objective and standard operating procedure as a guideline to each employee when they perform their responsibility in organization. Moreover, to ensure that each SOP is implemented effectively by employee and department, organizational manager need to apply the SOP through efficient method. There are various initiatives provided by managers such as workshop and training. For instance, In 2018, the Director General of Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara, Datuk Muhammad Razin bin Abdullah, has provided workshop known as Bengkel Penambahbaikan dan Pemantapan Urus Niaga Bahagian Kad Pengenalan at the Pharma Training Institution Port Dickson Negeri Sembilan. The purpose of this workshop is to provide input on the informity of Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara Counter Service, as well as ensure that every instruction and regulation applied in the Identity Card Division is in line with the legal requirement of the Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara and customer need. Therefore, through this workshop, the Director General can produce productive employee and have high work procedure while providing product and services to customer. In addition, Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara not only focus on workshop to apply SOP, but the organisation also apply the reminder method to update all SOP information to employee. Information of reminder will be issued by the headquarter of Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara, then the officer is responsible to convey the instruction every working hour through email and meeting to employee, and ensuring that all information on the SOP is fully implemented by employee. Furthermore, Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara provide the Anugerah Perkhidmatan Cemerlang APC to employee who meet the requirement of the APC, which is to obtain a laporan nilaian prestasi tahunan score of 85% and above and free from disciplinary action in the year of assessment. Employee that win the award will receive a Certificate of Excellent Service and award money amount to RM1,000. Hence, this award can increase the morale of employee, maintain excellent quality of performance throughout their services. Next, the application of standard operating procedure must be implemented in each department in the organisation through auditor. Auditor is a group of people that is responsible for measuring the quality of department, and they will assess every aspect in department to ensure the eligibility of the organisation to receive the title of total quality. In each department in Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara has several auditors to do cross-check, which is the auditor in the Citizenship Department will conduct an audit in Birth Certificate Department and vice versa. After internal auditor do a cross-check, the national auditor or auditor from the headquarter of Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara will conduct the audit according to the department. Furthermore, after conducted an audit, and if there is a mistake in the department known as penemuan, the officer need to make improvement in the department so the department can implement standard operating procedure effectively in the future.
Next discussion is about advantages of SOP in Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara JPN. Marriage is a bond that is considered noble by all religions. Legal marriage is a very important thing to maintain the dignity of the lineage and the good name of the family itself. As a result, Malaysian law has established regulation requiring all members of society to register their marital status with a legal agency. This places a greater focus on the non-Muslim community since, unlike the Muslim community, they do not have a permanent party to oversee their marital issues. Nevertheless, the government will not be biased in providing the best services to meet the demands of the multiracial community in Malaysia. As a consequence, the government has helped the non-Muslim community obtain the same services by providing marriage management services at the Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara in the Marriage Registration Department. This department is only reserved for the non-Muslim community. So, the non-Muslim community must follow the procedures set by the department in order to help the employees in manage and provide the best services to them. Conclusively, the advantages is the Marriage Registration Department can help non-Muslim couples in Malaysia to obtain their relationship status legally. In other words, the government and the JPN have a primary purpose by help every couple to register their marriage to ensure the increase in social problems in today's society can be reduced immediately. Therefore, the couple must go through the legal procedure in the marriage registration department so that they will not get into trouble that can cause all matters of life to be disrupted, especially if the couple will have children. In fact, every non-Muslim couple in Malaysia who wants to get married must abide by the instruction and laws set by the state and the government so that they can lead a new life in a more perfect and orderly manner. Nowadays, knowledge about birth registration is increasing compared to the past. This is because, due to the rapid advancement of technology, people in every country no longer have problems with the issue of not registering the birth of their children. Nevertheless, we cannot deny that there are still countries that are less progressive, so that many newborns in those countries are not registered properly. This is because the government in the country cannot provide and have a fully functioning civil registration system to manage all registration matters for its citizens. For instance, are India and Congo. But Malaysia is still in a state of control in maintaining a record of birth register that increase over time. In addition, the government is constantly working to improve birth registration in the country by providing services to its customer through a standard of procedure that is more organized for employees to follow and deliver the service smoothly. Essentially, employees in the birth registration department will be able to help every baby born in Malaysia to obtain their identity and citizenship status legally. Clearly, birth registration is a legal process of recording the birth of a baby to the JPN, and the parents or guardians will get a birth certificate as a confirmation document that the registration has been done. As fact, birth certificate issued by the department is an important matter to the baby's status so that in the future, he can enjoy the rights and all the facilities available in Malaysia as a legal citizen. For example, if a baby has been registered, all matters involving health facilities such as at public hospital will run smoothly without having any problems. Like in the case, this baby will need services such as vaccine BCG injection to strengthen their immunity during the infant phase. As they also will be in the first adulthood, the birth certificate is very important in order for them to get their own identity card once they reach 12 years old. Therefore, both parents and their children can take full advantage of all the assistance provided by the government. Malaysia is a sovereign and independent country. Most communities in the country are legitimate citizens. To ensure harmony in the country, the government is very concerned about the citizenship status of its citizens living in the country. This is so that all facilities and assistance contributed by the government that are specially provided for Malaysian citizens can be channeled fairly. For example, the fee for boarding public transport facilities such as LRT for senior citizens aged 16 and above and must be Malaysian citizen is free. From that, all senior citizens can use the facilities provided comfortably. Even so, in this era of modernization, we cannot prevent the entry of foreigners who want to come or enter the country. However, what if there are non-citizens who have a specific reason who had to decide to stay in Malaysia? In that case, the Citizenship Department under the JPN in Malaysia will manage this problem. This department plays a very important role in ensuring that every non-citizen who needs to register themselves as a citizen legally is registered with the correct procedure. Undoubtedly, the services can help non-citizens in Malaysia obtain legal citizenship status. This is because all incidental matters such as work or personal affairs of this non-citizen can be managed easily and will not cause hardship to the country they live or any injustice among the citizens. For instance, if a non-citizen is married to a Malaysian citizen and will be residing permanently in the country, the non-citizen spouse must apply for their citizenship status at the Citizenship Registration Department. If they fail to cooperate with the Citizenship Department, it is likely to affect themselves and also the future of their children who will be born as the non-citizen category and will get a red birth certificate. Thus, JPN will help non-citizens, especially in registering their citizenship, so that they will always feel safe in this country.
Finally, in conclusion, Standard Operating Procedure SOP is essential whether in public or private organisation. Also, by studying the definition, types, how the SOP applied and identify the advantages, we can conclude that SOP is a written instruction to achieve uniformity of the performance in organisation. Organizations that do not have SOP are like a boat without a keel. They may operate well, but eventually they will lose direction. Furthermore, there is no doubt that Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara has a good service and systematic standard operating procedure (SOP). However, it is priority of JPN to keep its employees' performance at highest level. Thus, JPN is encouraged to release SOP according to the current situation to make it much easier for employees to connect with customers and vice versa. JPN also is encouraged to examine and update their SOP to ensure it remains relevant to the department's standards and requirements. In fact, implementing standard operating procedures (SOP) in organization is a process that entails proper planning and involvement from all parties. When SOP implemented properly, it can be beneficial to both employees and clients. Hence, JPN should keep improving their system and performance, especially on how SOP apply to employees and clients to ensure an organizational goal well aligned. That's all from our group. Thank you.